Welcome to Mishna study Masechet Eruvin Perek Vav Mishna. Vav, over here in this Mishnah, we're going to discuss 5 groups of people, right? Different groups, maybe different families, who now are spending Shabbat together. They're checking in to a really big home, right? And Traklin over here is a Bait Rahav Yadayim, a massive home that they're checking into. And what do? Do they need to make an eruv? Do they not need to make an eruv? So Hamesh Haburot, 5 groups of people that they ended up taking residence in a massive home, for Shabbat. Bet Shammai Omrim, eruv lekol habura v'habura. You need to make an eruv for each and every group. Bet Hillel Omrim, eruv halikulam. It's enough to make one eruv for everyone. Right. So the question is, we look at each room as a separate home, right? And then everyone who is within that room needs to make a separate eruv. Or do we say, okay, it's one massive, palace, castle, house, and you can make one for that entire structure, building. So Beit Hillel says it's enough to make one for everyone. Umodim shayu miksatan shurim b'hadarim or ba'aliyot shen tzrichim eruv lechol chabura v'chabura. Everyone agrees that if a part of the group was in their own rooms or in the attic, right, then you would have to make a separate roof for each group. Now, what does this mean? So everyone agrees that if you have walls going all the way up to the ceiling, that's considered its own room, and everyone agrees that every single room would have to make their own eruv. Right? The main machloket here between Bet Shammai and Bet Hillel is when they had walls that didn't go all the way up to the ceiling. Right? It's not it's not walls that you would need a permit to build, right? You go up, close to the ceiling, but it's not reaching all the way up, and therefore, it's this, more in between. Would you consider this their own room? Is it not considered their own room? And over here, halachas, as we always mention, halachas like Bet Hillel, Rambam doesn't even mention anymore. Halachas like Bet Hillel, that even in this scenario, right, or really in this scenario, you would need. You would need, all you would need is one eruv for everyone. But if the walls reached all the way to the ceiling, then even Bet Hillel would agree that each room, right, would need its own eruv because it's, in essence, its own home.